Hello everybody, welcome back. Doing another deck tech.
Pioneer again.
Yeah.
And this time I am doing my Animating Touch list, which is a Dimir version of the Ensoul Artifact kind of style. So for this deck we have the 4 Ensoul Artifacts, which turns a artifact into a base power 5/5. And then we have also Tezzeret's Touch, which does the same for just an extra black mana. It also lets us rebuy the artifact if it dies. Though in this deck, not going to happen too often. Well, I guess it'll still happen about 50% of the time, so it is a nice little addition. And then we have 2 Animating Fairies, which we're not actually casting the fairy, we're casting its adventure, which is Bring to Life, which targets non-creature artifacts, so it is more restrictive, but it makes it a 0/0 and puts 4 +1/+1 counters on it. Which is nice because you can do that first, and then you can Ensoul it, and then you have a 9/9.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, a 3-mana 2/2 flying is fine if you need it.
Yeah. Yeah. And like it's a reasonable enough creature if you don't have really anything else going on. You can always cast the creature side. And then as for the artifacts, we have our 4 Hope of Girapor, which is there because it is a 1-mana flying artifact. And so it'll be a 5/5 pretty quickly in the deck.
Yeah. And it still has its ability, which is somewhat useful.
Somewhat useful, but if you're sacking it as a 5/5, not too helpful.
No.
And then we have 4 Ornithopter because it is, again, a flying artifact, which is important for the deck. Then we have the 3 Witching Wells, so it's just a cheaper artifact. It scries when it enters, so it gives us a little bit of card selection. Can always sacrifice it as to draw cards later, but it's just like an option for when we need the artifact to Ensoul. It doesn't have any of the abilities, but it's still
Cheap enough.
provides a bit of value. And then we have 3 Ghostfire Blades, so this is a nice little equipment because it is 1 mana, and to equip the colorless creature only costs 1 mana, and it gives them a nice +2/+2, so it just helps make our things even bigger and more threatening.
Especially the flying ones.
Yes. Then we have the 4 Prophetic Prism and 4 Golden Egg. So these are just there because they're the backup 5/5s, but they draw a card when they enter, so you're not actually losing anything when they get destroyed. And with Tezzeret's Touch, they just go back to your hand and then draw you a card when you cast it again. Then we have 3 Darksteel Ingots because...
Oh, you got 4.
Yeah, 4, sorry. 4. It's a 3-mana spell, but it's indestructible, so the 5/5 that you make isn't going to die ever. It's also a mana source, but at 3 drops, not really too helpful at that point.
More the indestructible.
More the indestructible. Just helps provide, because that 5/5 is just going to stay around. 4 Fatal Pushes, of course, because don't want to deal with our opponent's creatures, because sometimes the 5/5 gets blocked by like a 5/6 or something.
Yeah.
Or like a 0/6 Waller. And Fatal Push can generally help us push through that little bit.
Plus, you have a lot of ways to trigger Revolt, too, with these sack options. Not that you usually want to use them, but they're there.
Yeah, we do have a few options to trigger the Revolt. So. And then as for the lands, we have 4 Spires of Industry, since we do need a little bit of colored mana, but mostly colorless. It's a nice addition because it doesn't have to make us pay every time. We have 2 Drowned Catacombs, which half the time will probably come untapped in the deck, but there's enough that it should sometimes not. 3 Watery Graves. You can always choose whether it wants to be untapped or tapped. 1 Seagate Wreckage, just as a kind of fun of.
Yeah.
So we don't need tons of colored mana. We could have a few extra colorless lands. Does draw us cards if somehow we're, out of cards completely in our hand. 4 Darksteel Citadel, the other indestructible artifact in the deck.
A much better one.
A much better one.
Mana,
yes, because it's the nice cost of land drop. And still taps for mana, just not of any color. And can happen a lot earlier.
Yeah.
But that's why we needed the Darksteel Ingot to kind of double up on that. And then 2 Inventor's Fair. Deck will generally have 3 more artifacts out, so it will slowly accrue us a little bit of life gain, and it can always go fetch artifact that we need, say like strangely enough, an Ornithopter if we need a flyer, or like a Darksteel Ingot or Darksteel Citadel if we need the indestructible. And then for basics, 3 islands and just 1 swamp.
Yep. All right. Sounds good.